Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yeah, this is our M257 lab session, and this is our fifth session. Today, inshallah, we're gonna discuss a problem where uh, we're gonna implement the inheritance in Java. We have studied in our last session about inheritance, how the classes can be inherited. One class can inherit the properties of other class that is uh, is seen, and how we can carry on the properties of one class into another class by using inheritance. Okay, in the same context, today inshallah we're going to consider one problem, and we'll talk about this problem at how we can make it, or how we can uh, implement that. Excuse me. Okay, fine. So we'll discuss inshallah today about inheritance. As you see on the screen, a problem is given here. Uh, this problem is basically from your midterm exams, from the previous midterm exams. As you see on the screen, it says implement a Java class named movie that can be used with a video rental business. The movie class should contain the following: a private string data field named title that stores the movie title, a private integer data field year that stores the year of release, a constructor that creates a movie with a specified title and year, the accessor function for all data fields, the mutator function for all data fields, override the toString, and a function calculate fields that takes an input, the number of days the movie late, and return the fees. So that's the question here. For this one, we are asked to write a class. Fine. Very simple and straightforward question. The class name is movie, so you got to write the class movie. Fine. Of course, sorry, you will be writing this in NetBeans, or you'll be writing on paper in the midterm exam, but we will do it here in the NetBeans. Okay, let's create a new project here. M251 underscore lab file. Okay, we need to create a class. Okay, we'll add a new class here, new Java class called movie. Fine. So this is our movie class, wherein which, according to the specification, we are going to add the things, or we are going to add the fields. The first field is what here? The first field is title field of type string, and it's clearly mentioned that what type of field it is, and what is the access specifier here. So it says private type string title. Fine. So I think you got an idea like how we add the fields what is given. The next it is given like private integer data field year that stores year of release. So what should I write here? Can someone help me? What should I write here? Private int year. Private int year. So two data fields is as per the question it is given. Then it asks for a constructor that creates a movie with a specified title and year. So what type of constructor? Whether it is an argument constructor or default constructor. So we have to go for an argument constructor, public movie of string title as t, int y as year, that sets the title is equal to t and year is equal to y. I can also add here this keyword if you like to add, fine, with this dot year and this dot title. Okay, so this is a constructor which sets the given string and the year, given title and the year to the title and the year. If you like to add the default constructor, you can add the default constructor also, but it is not asked in the question. Okay, anyhow we will add a default constructor here. Let's say this of null comma 0, year 0 and the string is null. Okay, so this is an argument constructor, not the 0 argument constructor. Fine. Then it says that access functions for all data fields and mutator function for all data fields. What does it means here, accessor and mutator functions? Students online, what does it mean here, accessor and mutator functions? Getter and setter methods. Very good. So what I have to write, for example, if I want to write a getter and setter for a title, anyone from others centers? I see, mashallah, only Abdullah is answering my questions. No other students? Public string get name, return this dot name. Okay, good. How about the other students? Same. Okay, so accessor methods are all what we call the getter methods. Mutator methods are called what we call the setter methods. Okay, so we have to write both the accessor and mutator methods for title and the year. So that means we write it for set title and set year. Similarly, we write get title and get year. Okay, for both. So got to write in the answer. These methods are always public void set title of string t as title. This dot title equals t, and similarly get title public string get title of, sorry, it does not take any argument, just return this dot title. Okay, similarly we write the getter method public void set year int y as year, this dot year is equal to y, and similarly we can write the getter method for the year public int get year, or that returns the year. Okay, return this dot year. Fine. So this is what we call the getter and the setter method, or accessor and the mutator method of the class. Okay, it says override the toString method to represent the movie object as a string. Okay, basically this is also an important method here in any class. It is a string, its return type is a string, public string toString. It takes no argument, and return the string representation of the object. So we have movie title as get title plus year plus get year. So this will return the movie and its how it will be presented, how it will be printed. When you print the movie, any movie object, when you print it, it will print how it will be. So just to test this class, still it is not in the question, but just to test the class, we create a movie object, movie m is equal to new movie of ABCD as a title of movie and the year 2003. Fine. So now we can print this movie as system.out.println m. So when you print this m, so you will get that a string representation of m, that how the m is printed, the movie is printed. And this is printed from the toString method, like what we have done in the toString method. In that fashion it will be printed. But if you don't write this toString method, okay, suppose that we don't have this toString method, and how this object will be printed, this will be printed in a system format. Okay, so that's why we write the toString method here to to print the object in a proper format. Okay, so in the question, as per the question, we have to write the toString method if it is asked to print the object. So you can write it in your format. Okay, I gave it my format as in one line. You can put it in like 2 lines, or first you print title then year, something like this. You can format it in your own fashion. The next part says that write a calculate fees that takes input number of days a movie is late and return the late fee for that movie. So the late fee is $2 per day. So we are going to write this calculate fees method here that returns the late fees. So we write public double calculate, what is the name? Calculate late fees. Late fees that takes the number of days late, okay, and returns what? Returns the fees. The fees per day is $2.0, 2.0 multiplied by the days. How many days? Okay, that will be returned. Fine. So as a late fees. So we are done with the first part of the question. First part of the question, that is writing a class. Yeah, toString is a fixed name, you can say. We don't write it. We are overriding this toString method. Okay, this basically toString method is from the object class. You know the object class, the father of the all classes in Java. That is the object class. So this is basically from the object class. Okay, we are overriding that. Fine. So we write it as it is toString. Okay. So this one we wrote the class. So I hope when everyone got an idea like how to write the class from the given question. Is it clear to everyone? Students online. Is it clear that how to write the class from the given question? Students from Dammam and Riyadh, is it clear? Any questions on this? Okay, so we'll move to the next part of the question. That's where the inheritance comes. So it says implement a Java class named comedy that is derived from the movie class. Now here comes the inheritance, the driving from one class into another class. That's what we call the inheritance. So we need to create a new class here. Fine. So we're going to add a new class here to this project, Java class called comedy. Okay, so comedy class that is derived from the movie class. So what is the keyword here to use to derive from the movie class? I have to use the keyword extends the superclass or the file class. Extends it is. Okay, so this shows that the comedy class is the subclass of the movie class. Okay, this is what it means here. Then it says add a private integer data field called rating. So you need to add integer data field private int rating. Then you need to write the constructor, appropriate accessor mutator methods, override the toString, then calculate late fees, override this calculate late fees. Okay, so this we have to do it in the comedy class, fine. So here I'll stop from my side here and I'll leave this part to you to do this. Okay, Now I leave this part for you to practice it, like to create a data field, create a constructor, write the accessor and mutator method, to string method, and to calculate fees method, and then we'll write the main method. Okay, so inshallah in our next lab session we'll take the main method, we'll complete this and take the main method. Okay, for now I leave here for you to practice these two parts. Okay, that is the first part of the question what I did for you, and the second part of the question what I leave you to do it. Okay, so we'll complete this question inshallah, or this problem inshallah, in our next session. So for this I leave you here. So do you have any questions?